Greetings and salutations, all. I.S. Anderson here once again, and it's Wednesday, so yep, I'm going to do another Top 5 Wednesday today. I know I haven't done those in a couple of weeks, but here it is. So today's topic is the top 5 fictional technologies. Pretty interesting subject, and I have chosen 5 technologies to feature in this video. So let's just get started with number 5. Number 5 on the list is the Valyrian steel from the Game of Thrones series. Now, this technology isn't so great because of what it can do, but more because of what it symbolizes. Each respective house has its own Valyrian steel weapon. The Starks have ice, the big two-handed sword that Ned uses to chop people's heads off. The Baratheons have Robert's hammer. And the Mormont clan had Longclaw, the sword that Mormont passes down to Jon Snow. And the reason why these blades are so significant is because the steel is so rare you can't get it anymore. It was forged in old Valyria, which fell into the sea a long time ago. Now, the House Lannister, they don't have their Valyrian steel weapon because theirs was lost a long time ago when an ancestor took it with him, and basically when he tried to travel to old Valyria and he got lost, and like everybody else does there, and disappeared. So what they do is they melt down ice that they took from Eddard Stark, and they make that into 2 different Valyrian steel weapons of their own. And that's a pretty sad estate because that further just symbolizes the destruction of House Stark and how they're pretty much gone at this point. But that's too depressing, so let's just go on to number 4. Number 4 is the elixirs from the Divergent series. Each faction has their own elixir which does different things, such as the Dauntless, they have the Fearful elixir, which causes you to have hallucinations for their fear simulations. And of course the Candor has the Truth serum, which makes you tell the truth, and the Amity has their Peace serum, which basically is a drug. It makes you happy-go-lucky and happy to be alive and peaceful. And the reason why these elixirs is so cool is it's kind of like the Valyrian steel. Each faction is their own, and they represent what each of the factions do, and also they kind of represent what each of the factions' secrets are. Because the Abnegation serum, that's the one that erases your entire memories, and so you have to say to yourself, why exactly do they have an elixir that does that? And I'm not going to spoil that for you, but that does make it a very cool technology. So let's go on to number 3. Number 3 are the Mutts from the Hunger Games series. The Mutts are genetically altered animals with abilities that normal animals don't have. A good example are the Tracker Jackers. Instead of just a regular bee venom that most wasps have, these wasps have a venom that causes hallucinations. And there's a reason why they have that hallucinogenic effect, which you don't see until later on in the books. Around Mockingjay is why you see that. And in the books, the Hunger Games, the Mutts, the wolf Mutts that chased them at the end, they were actually based on the fallen tributes. And their faces actually look like the fallen tributes. And I can understand why they didn't do that in the movies, but at the same time, it's kind of a shame that they didn't. But anyway, the reason why the Mutts are just so terrifying and significant is that they were all created by the Capitol. And it's just the Capitol's way of manipulating life, like they do to so many other people, and now they're trying to... See, they can't really tell animals what to do so much, so they create their own breed of animals. Is another form of controlling life itself. Of course, the most significant Mutt at all is the Mockingjay itself, and which turns out to be the symbol of the rebellion, as I don't really think that's a spoiler because everybody knows Katniss, is the main character, and she's called the Mockingjay. And the Mockingjay was created by the Capitol also. So that's a mistake, which I won't get into so much, without spoiling the end of the movie series, but the people who read the books know what I'm talking about at least. But let's go on to number 2. Number 2 is Festus from the Heroes of Olympus series. Festus is a clockwork dragon created by the character Leo, a son of Hephaestus, and is later mounted on top of his ship, the Argo II, and it is Leo's sort of way he communicates with the ship. And he speaks only in basically clacks and other mechanical noises that only Leo can understand. And the reason why Festus is so cool, well, A, he's a dragon, so you can't go wrong there. And he's intelligent in his own way to an extent. It's sort of a mechanical AI type of intelligence, but it's still pretty cool. Plus, he just adds a lot of character to a ship. He becomes the ship, and he becomes a companion to Percy Jackson and the other demigods who travel aboard him. And he's just a really cool thing to have. I mean, it's a ship that can talk to you, and it's, you ever notice in most sci-fi series the ship can talk to you, but it's just basically a disembodied voice with no face. Festus himself, I mean, he's basically a face without a real voice, but you still can understand him. So he's his own mythological version of, the computer from Star Trek. And the number one fictional technology out there is the Oasis from Ready Player One. The Oasis is a large, immersive virtual reality simulation that takes place in the future, and you can go into this program and you can experience anything from 80s pop culture. You can replay movies from the 80s or pretty much any time. You can play Quidditch or any other sports you can imagine. You can go to any fictitious world that you want to, assuming you can, manage to not get yourself killed. And it is just it's the ultimate MMO, really, which is very cool. It is kind of bad in a way because it does kind of lead to society's downfall. One of the characters, I can't remember his name, Holloway's friend that's still alive, but he kind of blames the Oasis for society getting as bad as it is, and that because everybody just decided they'd rather play in the Oasis and live there than deal with the real world, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, it did save a lot of people, and it does give a lot of people a life outside of the harsh reality of the real world. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But not only is the Oasis a great feat of technology, but it's actually probably where we're going in the future. I could actually see something like the Oasis actually taking place. I mean, the technology is going to have to get significantly better for something like the Oasis to happen, but I think the Oasis potentially could happen. But that then leads to the question, well, is everybody just going to go into the Oasis and let the rest of the world go to crap, basically? Or will people find time to get away from the Oasis to maintain the world that they actually live in? Which is, a pretty good question. I think is a good question that Ready Player One actually brings up. And that was my top 5 technology. Hope you enjoyed that. And as always, I'm going to leave all my pertinent contact information down below in the abyss. Okay, and if you'd like to show me your top 5 Wednesday technology videos, leave a link down to that below. I'd love to see that. Please comment, rate, subscribe. You know the drill. And until we see each other next time, this is I.S. Anderson telling everybody to make your lives grand and have a great day. Thank you very much. And remember, kids, dropping a brick on your foot is better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Doesn't mean I'd want to do it.